Yeah, I'll just talk through it. I'll talk through. I have a friend. His name is Jay. Jay and I grew up together. He's actually my younger sister's best friend. At the young age of 20, Jay had a life-changing accident. Today, Jay is quadriplegic. That was in 2017. He became dependent on a wheelchair for mobility. He's assisted by his wonderful parents for what we know as simple tasks on a daily basis. It was then that I turned to my subject matter expert in accessibility husband and said, please explain to me what Jay can and cannot do now online. And that's when he said that if his assistive technologies are not they are not compatible with the website or the application he's using, he can't use it. Can't use it? There's no can't in my book. There's got to be a way that everybody can use any application and any website at any given moment. It doesn't matter what their capabilities are. Today, Jay's a PhD candidate. He plays video games, accessible video games. He communicates with us, with his family through the iPhone. He browses all websites, and he participates in the digital economy to the best of his ability. I'm really excited to speak about this topic. My name is Tamar Schapira. I'm co-founder and CEO of SenselT. We're a startup in the accessibility testing space, and I'm happy to speak to you about this later on. But I think before I ever get into what I'm doing, the why is what I just explained to you. Jay drives my passion and my motivation for disability inclusion and accessibility, and that's my personal reason for driving this and coming up and speaking to everybody here about accessibility. I'm a social entrepreneur, I'm a problem solver, I'm an out-of-the-box thinker, I like the morning, I'm a runner, half-marathon runner, and you'll oftentimes hear people call me Ima, which is Hebrew word for mom. There's a lot of that happening around me. For years, I owned a consulting firm in accessibility. We worked on testing and assessing digital products for our clients, and we were auditing the work, and I found the process to be tedious and cumbersome, and it's like a hamster wheel. We had clients that depended on us for testing. We would assess the product, return it for remediation, it would come back to us for reassessment, and back and forth and back and forth. Anybody know the process? Okay, so it's all manual. I do propose a way to do this automatically, but before you can even get into the world of automation testing for accessibility, and there's a lot of do's and don'ts in that world, first, I want to give a little bit of insight on practical ways that you can actually implement the digital accessibility testing and development within an organization or in whatever it is that you're doing. And I think that it goes back, if we really want to shift left for accessibility and bring that into the development cycle, automation or manual, you've got to have a benchmark. You've got to know what you're doing and what you're measuring for. So I can stand up here and I can talk to you about the 15% of the population that actually depends on assistive technologies and needs its accessibility, but I'm not. What I want to give you, what I want to leave you here with, how long are we? 2 minutes? 2 minutes. Great. What I want you to leave here with is that there is a way to measure your accessibility within the organization different than what we know of today. Don't scan using a tool that's going to give you that 95% you're doing great, because you're not. You're not doing the manual work that you need to do. The reason we're testing manually is because we need to interact with the product as if we were a person with various capabilities. Cumbersome, I know. That's another topic to discuss. But essentially what you want to make sure of is that you are testing for the critical barriers, okay, hence the functionality of the product from the perspective of a person that's using only the keyboard and an assistive technology. Okay? That's the first thing you want, the critical barriers. All of our scanners out there today are going to report on serious issues. In accessibility, we have critical, serious, moderate, and minor. Tackle the critical ones. Those are the ones that we interact with. But more importantly, you probably have critical user flows that you're testing in your product. Test those first for accessibility for the critical issues, because then you're covering your grounds pre-release. Post-release, let's take care of the serious issues within our critical user flows, and then we can tackle everything else. And I'm not talking about moderate issues and minor. And just to give you a little tidbit of what I'm talking about, your color contrast, it's easy. It's not that important. That's not critical. Nobody is going to stop using your product because they can't see the color. It's a less of a good user experience for somebody who has issues. But what you want to make sure of is if you have a submit button, somebody that uses the keyboard only can submit and can use your product and can be a part of our digital economy. That's for today. There's so much more, and I really, really thank you for the opportunity.